1 year ago today, our old habits got a huge shakeup as COVID-19 officially became a pandemic. What lessons have doctors learned, and how has the virus affected all of us 365 days later? Infectious disease specialist Dr. Zain, Chagla, and clinical psychologist Nicole McCance have been kind enough to join us this morning. Good morning to you both. Dr. Chagla, first question to you. If you could go back a year, what would you do different?
Yeah, I would have seen a lot more family and friends over January and February for sure. There was a lot of science that I think that came out from the pandemic that ended up being junk science at the end. And I think, if you could go back, you wish you would have understood some of it a little bit better. But yeah, it's the connection to family and friends, I think, that got lost that I wish we had at the beginning, and if we knew, we had the time to actually go back to.
Yeah, further to that, Nicole, I want to ask you, I know, everyone's different. It's affected us all differently. And depending on demographics and age groups, you are noticing similarities. So take us through what you've seen in kids versus adults and seniors.
Yeah. So first of all, I think every human being right now is going through so much loss of routine, loss of celebration, loss of friends and family. So a lot of us are actually grieving. And because this is still going on, I don't think we've fully been able to process the last 12 months. And I don't think we will until this is finally in a better place because of all the micro traumas, all these people dying and
Oh, her signal froze. Okay, we'll try and work on that while we head over to you, Dr. Chagla.
Dr. Chagla, whose signal I think is still going, we can go to him. Dr. Chagla, I was going to ask you emotionally, like, what is your reaction if I were to ask you, describe Canada/Ontario's response to this over the last 365 days? But I know you're a man who keeps emotion out of what you normally do. So I'll just say, clinically, what do you make of this nation's response and the province's response?
Look, I think we did what we could with the science when we came through. I mean, as the science evolved, I think we evolved with it. Could it have been a bit quicker? Absolutely. I do think we did try to balance people's mental health. We tried to balance businesses being open, and potentially, could have reacted a bit sooner. And I think going into the next 365 days, the one thing that still is missing and I feel is not really talked about is who COVID is still affecting. And again, it's not just the everyday person who's working from home. You're still seeing people who are at the lowest incomes. You're still seeing people who are at the most essential workplaces that are getting affected by COVID way more than the rest of us. And I think that's the one piece that's clinically missing in all of this, that we need to keep pushing and recognizing that those supports need to be there as we move forward.
For sure. Nicole's back. We wanted to ask you, what are the long-term effects? You mentioned micro-trauma. What are some of those long-term effects of social distancing?
Yeah, I think we don't even know yet, right? Like, we're just seeing an influx of kids with depression and anxiety, with learning issues because they're behind and really struggled in school. I think the biggest thing is people reaching out for the help that they need. Friends are great, but at this point, reaching out for professional helps now. To really begin to process what's happened, because it's been so much and in a way that, again, that I'm not even sure we're capable of knowing yet.
Yeah, always reach out for help. Thank you both for being here this morning, Nicole and Dr. Chagla. And please do, we're nearing the end of this thing. Just stay in there a little bit longer. This has proven how resilient we all are, that's for sure.
Yeah, we learned a lot about ourselves. And we also learned how much love we have for frontline workers. We've thanked them a million times over the last year for what they do. As we go to break, here's a thank you for the 1,000,001st time.